Ladies and gentlemen, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and history lovers, welcome back to Secret of Us Coins, the place where secrets buried in plain sight are revealed to the world. Tonight, I'm about to take you on a journey that will make your heart pound, your mind race, and your soul crave for more. Because hidden in the palm of your hand, in the loose change of America, lies not just a coin, but a legacy, a hidden treasure worth fortunes beyond imagination. What if I told you, right now, in this very moment, there are ordinary-looking 5-cent pieces, nickels, that are anything but ordinary, coins so rare, so valuable, that they transform from pocket change into a golden key to wealth. Yes, these aren't fairy tales. These are truths buried in the vaults of history, resurfacing in today's auction market where collectors are fighting with fierce passion and fortunes are changing hands. Tonight, we unveil the top 8 ultra-rare and most valuable Monticello 5-cent coins that the world is chasing. These coins are not just currency, they are windows into America's history. They are relics that survived wars, economic shifts, and the passage of generations. And in the right condition, they are worth more than treasures locked in royal palaces. So stay with me until the very end, because the last few coins in this list will shake you to your core. Each one is a story, a legacy, and for collectors, a dream worth living. And remember, here at Secret of US Coins, we don't deal in myths. We bring you truth, trust, and daily updates straight from the auction floors and collector networks across America. Coin number 1. The year was 1941. The world was trembling under the weight of war, and America was on the edge of a new chapter in its destiny. In this year, at the Philadelphia Mint, millions of Jefferson nickels were struck. Most of them, you would think, are just ordinary coins, passing from one hand to another, buying bread, newspapers, maybe even war bonds. But hidden within this massive production run were coins that would one day become legendary. The 1941 Monticello nickel without a mint mark is one such legend. Its design is iconic. On the obverse, the sharp, proud profile of Thomas Jefferson, the man who penned America's Declaration of Independence, his face etched forever in nickel. On the reverse, the Monticello, his stately Virginia home, standing like a monument of freedom and architectural brilliance. At first glance, it seems like just another Jefferson nickel. But look closer, and the story changes. This particular coin carries a unique black shade, a natural toning that came from decades of circulation and exposure. Unlike the bright luster you see on common nickels, this one has developed a mysterious, almost haunting darkness that collectors see as a mark of authenticity and survival. It's a visual whisper of time, telling us that this coin has lived, it has traveled, and it has endured. Now here is where the rarity explodes. While millions of 1941 nickels were struck, very few without mint marks survive today in fine condition with this black shade characteristic. Collectors crave them, not just because of the date, but because these are coins that bridge the ordinary with the extraordinary. They are no longer just nickels. They are survivors of history that stand out in the crowd like a diamond hidden among stones. And when it comes to the market value, brace yourself. A coin like this, the 1941 Monticello 5-cent without mint mark, in fine condition, carrying its black shade mystery, is currently valued at a jaw-dropping $165,000 in today's auction market. This isn't fiction, this isn't hype, this is reality. Imagine, a coin once worth 5 cents is today a treasure chest in your pocket. And listen closely, because the market value of this beauty is climbing higher with every passing year. Collectors are battling, auctions are heating up, and the future is nothing but bright for this coin. The truth is simple. Owning this coin is like holding a treasure map that never loses value. For collectors out there, here's the tip you must engrave in your memory. Coins, like the 1941 Monticello without mint mark, must be preserved with utmost care. Condition is king in the world of numismatics. A coin in fine condition is already a gem, but if you find one in very fine or extra fine condition, you are looking at an even bigger fortune. Protect it, grade it, and let it shine, because every year that passes adds more demand and more value. And here's the conclusion for this coin. This isn't just metal. This is heritage. This is wealth disguised as history. This is why we call these coins treasures. Because one coin can change your life. One coin can make you part of America's hidden history. And one coin, like the 1941 Monticello without mint mark, can put you on the map of legendary collectors forever. That's just the beginning, my friends. And we've got 7 more coins to go, each one rarer, more exciting, and more valuable than the last. So stay with me till the very end, because the final coin will leave you breathless. And remember, Secret of Us Coins is your faithful source, bringing you fresh updates every single day. Coin number 2. As we move forward on this breathtaking journey, let us step into the year 1947. The echoes of World War II were still resonating across the globe. America was rebuilding, soldiers were coming home, families were starting anew, and industries were shifting gears from war production back to civilian life. Amidst this rebirth, the Philadelphia Mint struck the 1947 Monticello nickels, seemingly ordinary coins that carried the symbol of Jefferson's Monticello as a reminder of America's strength, resilience, and return to peace. At first glance, this 1947 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark might appear simple. A coin that once bought a newspaper, a pack of gum, or maybe even a subway ride. But the closer you look, the more you realize that this is no ordinary survivor of its time. This particular coin we are discussing carries a black shade toning, a natural transformation that only decades of age and circulation can create. It isn't a flaw, it's a badge of honor. That deep, shadowy layer makes this coin look almost mystical, as if it were forged not just in metal, but in history itself. Now, why is this coin so rare? After 1945, the special wartime silver alloy nickels had ended, and the mint had returned to using the standard copper-nickel composition. Millions were minted, yes, but survival into the modern day in fine condition with unique black shade toning is incredibly scarce. Most of these coins were worn down to nothing in everyday commerce, lost in time, or melted in bulk. But a small handful endured like this one, preserved against the odds, carrying both its history and its beauty into today's world. Collectors adore this coin because it represents a transition in history. The end of one era, the wartime silver nickels, and the beginning of another, where America looked forward to prosperity. To own a 1947 Monticello without mint mark in this rare fine condition is to hold a bridge between two worlds, the hardships of war and the hope of post-war America. That is why demand is so fierce, and why auctions come alive when one of these surfaces. And here comes the part that turns curiosity into absolute shock: the market value. This coin, the 1947 Monticello 5-cent without mint mark, carrying its deep black shade and surviving in fine condition, is commanding an unbelievable $153,000 in today's auction market. Yes, you heard me right. $153,000 for what once was just a nickel. Think about it. That's not just a coin, that's a treasure chest in your hand. That's a life-changing discovery for anyone lucky enough to find it. And let me tell you, this is no exaggeration. The demand is growing stronger every single day, and the market value is rising like a rocket with no intention of slowing down. Collectors, take note. If you ever come across a 1947 Monticello without mint mark, do not ignore it. Study it carefully, look for its unique toning, protect it with all your might. Even in fine condition, it is a gem. But in higher grades, it becomes almost mythical in value. Coins like these are not simply money. They are keys that unlock doors to the highest circles of the numismatic world. The conclusion for this coin is simple yet powerful. This isn't just about owning metal. This is about owning a chapter of America's rebirth, a survivor of post-war history that carries within it the stories of millions. The 1947 Monticello without mint mark is proof that what looks ordinary may hold extraordinary wealth. Its presence in your collection would not only mark you as a serious collector, but also as a guardian of one of the most coveted treasures in American coinage. So remember, when we say these coins are treasures, we mean it. Their beauty, their rarity, and their unstoppable rise in value make them priceless relics of America's past and priceless opportunities for your future. Here at Secret of Us Coins, I'll continue revealing these treasures to you every day, faithfully and truthfully, because this world of rare coins is more exciting than any adventure story ever written. Coin number 3. Now, we step forward into the 1970s, a decade of change, culture, and transformation in America. The Vietnam War was drawing to a close. The Watergate scandal was shaking politics. Music was revolutionizing culture, and the American economy was entering a new era. Yet, quietly, almost unnoticed by the masses, the Philadelphia Mint was striking millions of Jefferson nickels in 1973. To the casual eye, these coins seemed ordinary, everyday pocket change. But hidden in the sea of millions, a rare jewel was born. The 1973 Monticello, 5 cent without mint mark, carrying a unique brown layer and preserved in very fine condition. Let's peel back the layers of history. The 1973 Jefferson nickel continued the classic design. Jefferson's strong, determined profile on the obverse and the stately Monticello on the reverse. This design, introduced in 1938, had already become iconic, representing stability through turbulent times. But while countless 1973 nickels passed through vending machines and cash registers, this particular variety without mint mark and carrying a distinct brown layer toning emerged as a rarity worth chasing. The brown layer is not just a stain or discoloration, it is the fingerprint of history itself. Over decades, natural oxidation and circulation gave the surface a rich, earthy patina, unlike the typical bright silvery gray shine of most nickels. This toning makes the coin stand apart, as if time itself painted a story onto its surface. Collectors view such toning not as damage, but as a rare, unique trait that makes each coin one of a kind, impossible to duplicate, and incredibly sought after. Now, why is the 1973 without mint mark such a rarity? By the early 1970s, Philadelphia was striking massive quantities of coins. Most were spent into circulation and worn down to nothing. Yet, examples like this surviving in very fine condition are almost mythical. Very few remain sharp, detailed, and enriched by this brown toning. This combination of condition, history, and unique appearance is what fuels the insatiable hunger among collectors today. And now, The moment of shock, the market value. A coin like this, the 1973 Monticello, 5 cent without mint mark, carrying its signature brown layer and preserved in very fine condition, commands a staggering $137,500 in today's auction market. Let that sink in. $137,500 for what was once handed over as spare change. This is not a myth, not a fantasy, but a truth that collectors know all too well. This coin is a treasure chest hidden in plain sight. And its value is not just stable, it is rising year after year as demand outpaces supply. This is why I say, with full confidence, owning this coin is like holding lightning in a bottle. You don't just own a nickel, you own an irreplaceable piece of American history, a relic that transforms ordinary metal into extraordinary wealth. Its future value, only one direction, upward. Don't take this lightly. The market has proven again and again that such coins are more than investments. They are treasures passed down through generations. For collectors watching this, if you ever come across a 1973 Monticello without mint, mark showing a brown layer and preserved in high condition, do not hesitate. Protect it, certify it, and treasure it. Every auction house in America has eyes waiting for coins like this. And when one surfaces, the bidding wars begin like thunder. The conclusion for this coin is nothing short of electrifying. The 1973 Monticello without mint mark, brown layered and very fine, is living proof that even in modern times, extraordinary rarities exist. They are not just relics of the 1940s or the war-era. Hidden treasures lie in every generation. The coin is a modern miracle in numismatics, a symbol of rarity born from abundance, and a treasure that could elevate your collection into the realm of legends. Coin number 4. The year is 1946. The world is finally breathing after years of devastation. World War II has ended. Soldiers are returning home, cities are healing, and America is stepping into a new dawn of prosperity and change. But amidst this moment of history, the Philadelphia Mint was quietly striking the first Jefferson nickels of the post-war era, coins that would mark the end of wartime alloys and the return to traditional minting. And hidden within that production lies one of the most captivating rarities you will ever encounter, the 1946 Monticello, 5 cent without mint mark, preserved in very fine condition. To understand the significance of this coin, we must remember what came before it. From 1942 to 1945, America's 5-cent pieces were made of a special wartime composition of silver, manganese, and copper, nickels without nickel, created to save the metal for the war effort. But in 1946, that chapter closed and the mint returned to the original 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy. The 1946 issue symbolized not only the end of war, but the rebirth of normalcy in American life. That alone makes this coin historically powerful. The design remained the same. Thomas Jefferson's proud and noble profile on the obverse and his Monticello estate on the reverse. Yet, within the sea of millions minted, only a fraction survived, the decades in strong, very fine condition, carrying with them the sharp details of Jefferson's profile, the clean lines of Monticello, and the aura of resilience from a generation that endured the storm. These survivors are not just coins, they are symbols of America rising from the ashes. But rarity doesn't stop at history. The absence of a mint mark on this 1946 issue is what makes it especially sought after. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, these coins went straight into circulation, passing from hand to hand in a booming post-war economy. Most were worn down, forgotten, or lost. Yet today, a small handful remain in collections, shining as survivors of a world in transition. And when one of these coins is preserved in very fine condition, collectors take notice, because condition elevates rarity into treasure. And now, brace yourself. The market value of this incredible coin is nothing short of staggering. The 1946 Monticello 5-cent without mint mark, in very fine condition, commands a breathtaking $155,000 in today's auction market. Yes, $155,000 for a coin that once jingled in the pockets of a returning soldier or bought groceries for a family celebrating peace. This is not hype. This is the living, breathing truth of today's coin market. This is treasure hidden in plain sight, a wealth-building relic that grows in value with every year. Think about this. The demand for such coins is not shrinking, it is exploding. Collectors, investors, and historians are battling for ownership. And every auction where a 1946 Monticello surfaces turns into a battlefield with bidding wars rising higher and higher. Why? Because coins like this are finite. No new 1946 nickels will ever be made. Each one lost is gone forever. But those that remain are becoming priceless artifacts of American history. For collectors listening now, let me give you this vital tip. When it comes to post-war nickels, like the 1946, condition is everything. A coin in very fine condition is already extraordinary. But if you encounter one in extra fine or uncirculated condition, you are holding lightning in your hand. Protect it, certify it, and treasure it. Because its value is not just in dollars, but in its irreplaceable role as a symbol of America's victory and renewal. The conclusion for this coin is clear and powerful. The 1946 Monticello, without mint mark, is not just money, it is memory. It is not just a collectible, it is a cornerstone of numismatic history. This coin is a phoenix rising from the ashes of war, and owning it means owning a piece of America's story of survival and triumph. Value today is jaw-dropping, and its value tomorrow will only climb higher, because treasures like this never fade, they only grow brighter. Coin number 5. We now travel into the late 1980s, a time of cultural change, booming technology, and a country moving toward the close of the century. The year was 1989. America was watching the Cold War come to an end, the Berlin Wall crumbling, and a new global chapter beginning. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, the Mint was producing millions of Jefferson nickels, stamped with the bold P Mint mark. To most people, these coins were everyday pocket change, slipped into vending machines, dropped into tip jars, or stacked in piggy banks. But within this sea of common nickels, an extraordinary rarity emerged. The 1989 Monticello 5-cent with P Mint mark in circulated condition, a coin that has now become a phantom treasure in the world of collectors. At first glance, the 1989 Jefferson nickel may not appear unusual. The design remained the familiar classic, Thomas Jefferson's determined profile on the obverse and the timeless Monticello estate on the reverse. Yet the rarity of this coin lies not in its design, but in its survival story. Despite being from a modern year, and despite millions struck, the 1989 Monticello with the Philadelphia P Mint mark has climbed into the realm of legend. Why? Because collectors discovered that among these ordinary-looking coins, certain examples like the one we are discussing carry unique qualities that elevate them far above the rest. This particular piece is in circulated condition, which might sound ordinary. But here's the twist. Even circulated survivors of 1989 with the Philadelphia Mint mark have become astonishingly rare in the auction world. Most 1989 nickels were spent into oblivion, worn smooth, tossed away, or lost in the shuffle of modern commerce. Very few remain recognized, preserved, and identified as treasures by serious numismatists, and those that do appear have stunned the collecting community with their unexpected value. Collectors crave this coin because it defies logic. It is a modern rarity, born from an era where coins were mass-produced in unimaginable numbers. Yet here we are, looking at a survivor that has transformed from just pocket change into a six-figure masterpiece. That paradox is what ignites bidding wars and keeps collectors hungry for more. And now, here's the thunderclap. The market value of this coin will leave you speechless. The 1989 Monticello 5-cent with P mint mark, even in circulated condition, is currently commanding a breathtaking $115,500 in today's auction market. Think about that. A coin from the late 1980s. A coin people still remember spending as children, now valued as if it were ancient treasure unearthed from the ground. This is the magic of numismatics, and this is the power of rarity. And make no mistake, my friends, this value is real, current, and growing by the day. Every year, the market sets new records, proving once again that what looks ordinary can secretly be extraordinary. For collectors listening closely, let this be your lesson. Never dismiss modern coins as worthless. Always check your change. Always study your nickels, because treasures hide where you least expect them. If you find a 1989 Monticello with a P mint mark, even in circulated condition, do not ignore it. Protect it, grade it, and understand its potential, because demand is only climbing higher. And in the numismatic world, demand is what turns coins into treasures. The conclusion for this coin is one of sheer amazement. The 1989 Monticello with P mint mark is proof that rarity does not belong only to the distant past. It can emerge in modern times, right under our noses. This coin is a phantom, a treasure born from an age of abundance, and it has already etched itself into the history of valuable American coins. Six-figure market value proves beyond doubt that coins are not just currency, they are vessels of hidden fortune. Number 6. The year is 1952. America is standing tall in the post-war boom. Families are buying new homes, televisions are lighting up living rooms, and cars with gleaming chrome are rolling off assembly lines. The country is alive with energy, confidence, and ambition. But tucked away in the endless stream of coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint that year lies a treasure so rare, so breathtaking, that today it stands among the giants of the numismatic world, the 1952 Monticello 5-cent without mint mark, preserved in fine condition with a beautiful look that collectors can only dream of. This coin carries the timeless Jefferson design, his bold, visionary profile on the obverse and the stately Monticello on the reverse. But what sets this particular coin apart is not just its date or its mint of origin, but its astonishing beauty. Despite being over 7 decades old, it has survived in fine condition, its details still strong, its surfaces marked with the kind of character only time can give. The words, beautiful look, are not just casual here, they are everything. Because in numismatics, beauty is power, and when a coin's condition captures that rare balance of age and preservation, collectors go wild. Let's talk about rarity. By 1952, the Philadelphia Mint was striking nickels in enormous numbers. Most of them went straight into circulation and endured decades of wear, losing their sharpness, their luster, and eventually their very identity. But a small handful like this treasure survived in fine condition, carrying both historical weight and visual elegance. And when you combine the absence of a mint mark with such a condition, you are looking at a coin that collectors chase relentlessly. This isn't just another nickel. This is a survivor of time, a jewel of the 50s, a treasure hiding in plain sight. Now here is where the suspense explodes the market value. The 1952 Monticello 5-cent without mint mark, in fine condition with its beautiful, captivating look, is today commanding an extraordinary $150,500 in the auction market. Yes, $150,500 for a 5-cent piece. That's not imagination, it's fact. That's not hype, it's reality. This coin is wealth disguised as metal, treasure disguised as history. And listen carefully, this value is not standing still. It is climbing, step by step, year by year, because demand is soaring and supply is vanishing. Coins like this are not being made anymore, and every time one finds its way into a collector's vault, it disappears from the public forever. For collectors, here's your tip. The 1952 Monticello, without mint mark, is a coin you must never underestimate. Condition is everything, and the words fine condition are already impressive for a coin this old. But if you find one in even higher grades, very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated, you are holding a potential masterpiece worth far more than today's price tag. Guard it, grade it, and understand this. It is not just an investment, it is a legacy. The conclusion for this coin is undeniable. The 1952 Monticello without mint mark is a symbol of survival, beauty, and hidden fortune. It shows us that treasure is not always ancient, nor is it always flashy. It can be quiet, subtle, and sitting in a simple nickel from the 1950s. But that nickel, when rare and beautiful, becomes a life-changing discovery. With its 6-figure value, its growing demand, and its unmatched charm, this coin is proof that in the world of numismatics, miracles are real and treasures are closer than we think. Coin number 7. The year is 1981. America is shifting into a new era. Technology is on the rise, the space shuttle is making history, and the country is entering a decade of both challenge and innovation. And while the nation was looking forward, the Philadelphia Mint was busy striking millions of Jefferson nickels with the now familiar P Mint mark. To most people, these coins were nothing more than everyday currency, slipped into arcade machines, spent on gas, or rattling around in change jars. But hidden among them lies a mysterious treasure, the 1981 Monticello 5-cent with P Mint mark, carrying a rare brown layer preserved in fine condition. At first glance, it may look like any other Jefferson nickel of its time. But look closer, and you will see what makes it different. The brown layer toning sets this coin apart in a way that collectors cannot ignore. This natural transformation of the coin's surface is not just discoloration, it's the fingerprint of history. Over decades, exposure to the elements created a rich, earthy patina that makes this coin one of a kind. The unique toning gives it character, depth, and above all, rarity. Collectors often say that no two-tone coins are the same, and that's what makes this piece a treasure. Now, you might wonder, millions of nickels were struck in 1981. So why is this one so rare? The answer lies in survival and condition. Most of these coins were spent into circulation and worn down beyond recognition. They lived hard lives in everyday commerce, and almost all of them lost their luster, their sharp details, and their uniqueness. But this particular survivor, with its distinct brown layer and fine condition is a true exception. It stands out in a sea of ordinary coins as an extraordinary discovery. And now, the part that shocks collectors every time, the market value. A 1981 Monticello 5-cent with P mint mark, carrying this brown layer and preserved in fine condition, is today valued at an astonishing $128,000 in the auction market. Yes, $128,000 for a coin that most people would never give a second glance. This is no exaggeration. This is the power of rarity, beauty, and demand colliding. And what's even more electrifying is that this value is climbing year after year. Collectors are chasing these treasures harder than ever, and each time one surfaces, it sparks bidding wars that shake the auction floor. This is the magic of numismatics, coins that look ordinary to the world but are extraordinary to those who know their secrets. And this 1981 brown-toned rarity is living proof of that magic. Collectors, take this tip with you. Never underestimate toned coins. What some see as wear, true collectors see as beauty. The brown layer on this 1981 nickel is not damage, it is history painted by time. When preserved in fine condition, such coins are treasures that belong in the top-tier collections of the world. If you find one, protect it, grade it, and hold on to it, because its value is a rocket that is only going up. The conclusion for this coin is simple yet breathtaking. The 1981 Monticello, with P mint mark and brown layer, is not just a piece of modern coinage. It is a treasure chest disguised as a nickel, a miracle of survival, and a six-figure prize waiting for those wise enough to recognize its worth. That treasure is not limited to centuries-old coins. Sometimes, treasures come from just a few decades ago, hiding in plain sight until revealed to the world. Coin number 8. As we arrive at the final treasure in today's journey, let us travel back to a year of monumental change, 1939. The world was standing on the edge of history. War was erupting in Europe, industries were shifting, and America itself was preparing for uncertain times. In that same year, something extraordinary happened in the world of coinage, the birth of the Jefferson nickel, with the iconic Monticello reverse, designed by Felix Schlag. For millions of Americans, it was just pocket change. But for collectors of today, hidden within the first strikes of 1939, lies a fortune unlike any other. The coin you see here is no ordinary piece of metal. This is the Monticello 5-cent of 1939, without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition. Think about what this means. This is one of the very first years of Jefferson nickels ever produced. Each surviving example from this era is a time capsule, a relic from the dawn of a new series that still runs strong today. Yet among all those produced, very few have survived the test of time in such outstanding preservation. Take a closer look at this coin, and you will see why it captivates collectors. The smooth, sharp design of Jefferson's profile, the intricate lines of Monticello on the reverse, and the crisp lettering still visible even after 8 decades. These are marks of a true treasure. Its very fine condition proves that this coin was not just carelessly tossed around in commerce. It survived the passing years with dignity, carrying forward the story of 1939 into the hands of collectors today. Now here comes the part that will send chills down your spine, its rarity. The 1939 Monticello nickel without mint mark is one of the toughest finds in very fine condition. Most examples from that year have been battered, worn smooth, or lost entirely. Only a small fraction remain in a state collectors would call desirable, And those are the coins that ignite bidding wars across the world. And now, the treasure chest is unlocked. The current market value of this coin is $185,500. Yes, nearly $200,000 for what once jingled in the pockets of everyday Americans during the late 1930s. This is no exaggeration, no trick of words. This is truth, pure and undeniable. A coin like this can make you rich overnight because it is more than currency, it is a big money treasure, a fortune in your hand, a legacy turned into solid value. And the most astonishing part, its value continues to rise with every passing year. Collectors know that time only makes it rarer, more desirable, and more valuable. This coin is not fiction, it is fact. For collectors, the message here is clear. The 1939 no mint mark nickel is the cornerstone of Jefferson nickel history. If you ever come across one, don't let it slip away. Grade it, protect it, treasure it, because you are not holding a simple coin. You are holding the birth of a legend, a relic of American history, and a six-figure masterpiece that grows in value like a hidden fortune. And so we conclude today's journey with this breathtaking rarity. The 1939 Monticello 5-cent without mint mark is the ultimate example of why we hunt, why we collect, and why the world of numismatics is filled with treasures beyond imagination. It proves that hidden within ordinary-looking coins are extraordinary treasures waiting to be discovered. My friends, this was not just a list, it was a treasure hunt through time. You are not alone in this adventure. In the secret of us coins, you have a faithful, trustful, and daily updated source for the newest discoveries, the most valuable treasures, and the secrets of America's rare coins. Stay, because every day, new fortunes are waiting to be revealed.